Hello and welcome to Trading 5 Talents. In today's video, we're talking about using a trade log for your options trading. But before we begin, I just want to say I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Any trades that I mention are not trade recommendations, but either in an example trade or a past trade that I've made. So please don't enter into any trades that you may see here. Now let's get into the video. So what is a trade log? Well, many successful traders often point to a trade log as a necessary tool in their trading lifestyle. Whether you're a stock trader, a forex trader, an options trader, or whatever else that you trade, it's a necessary tool. So what it basically is, whether it's referred to as a trade log or a trading log or a trading journal, it's just a piece of software or some other record that highlights and details all of the information for a trade or a position that you are in or have exited. So it can be very fancy, like a premium priced software that you would use, and it just tracks everything. Or it can be something simple like a spreadsheet that you've formatted specifically to your trading style. Or it can be something even more simplistic and minimalistic, such as a physical journal that you actually handwrite your trades in. But whatever it is, it allows the trader to keep track of all of your trades. And it allows you to keep track of your profits, of your losses, your entries, your exits, and any potential mistakes that you may have made. Now, many traders, they have mentioned that when they fill out their trade log, they go back and identify when they've made trades and lost, or when they've made trades and profited. And so they can start looking for those patterns on not just the types of trades they made, but perhaps the mood that they were in, or the time of day, or the market conditions, whatever it may be. They're able to gather that data and make those connections because they've recorded their trades in some manner. So I've made a trade log specifically for the wheel strategy, and it's made in Google Sheets, so therefore it's free. I'll put a link down in the description so you can download it, and then you can refer back to this video if you want a walkthrough on how to use it. And this trade log is specifically used for the wheel strategy in the way that I trade it. So let's go take a look and see how this would work. Okay, let me start here. You can see that there are 4 tabs down here. I'm just going to start with the most basic one. This is just the change log. If I ever make different releases or add in something or correct a mistake, I'll just record it down here in the change log. And then there's also a long set of instructions on how I think it should be used. But also, if you don't want to refer back to this video, then you have the instructions actually in the sheet. And so it says, thank you for downloading my options trading log. Here are a few tips on how to use this sheet. So these are the general notes. It's free, don't resell it. It's to be used with the options trading strategy known as the wheel strategy. That's what we cover here at Trading 5 Talents. If you want an overview of this strategy, go ahead and click the link in the description for the wheel strategy. So I've made this particular spreadsheet or this trade log based on the fees of Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is the broker that I use. If you want to join Robinhood, I have an affiliate link down in the description. You and I will both get a free stock if you sign up using that link. Otherwise, if you don't want to, just go to robinhood.com and sign up. Again, it's free. It's zero commissions, and I say there's minimal fees because there are tiny fees that Robinhood doesn't charge, but it's more of an oversight committee that's going to be charging them. But those are calculated in this spreadsheet as well. Now, feel free to customize this sheet according to your trading strategy, according to your goals, according to the way you want things set up. On the dashboard, that's this tab right here. What you're going to do is you're in cell E1. You're going to enter the first date of the calendar year. So I go here. Here's cell E1, and I put a comment, change to January 1st for the current year. And you can see up here, 1/1/21, that's what will list up here. Now that's important because this date controls the dates that you're going to see down here at the bottom. These dates are used for formulas over here. Okay. So in cell F3, enter your desired monthly percentage goal. So going over to F3, that's this blue one. So enter what you want to earn per month. In this example, I'm just, putting 4%. Okay. What that's going to do is it's going to calculate 4% of whatever your starting balance is for the month. and it's going to plot that here in blue. So I tried to color code everything so that it's easy to see. The orange and green numbers above the graph will be auto-calculated, which are these. Okay, so you don't have to worry about those. It's going to average these numbers in orange, and it's going to total these numbers in green. So what it shows you is how much you're averaging per month, and you can compare that to what you want to average. It's also in green, totaling how much you've made per year as you trade month per month. Okay, next, beneath the graph, you'll need to enter your starting balance for January, even if you started in another month. So that's what I did here. In January, even though I didn't start, you can see from here, we didn't start trading until June in this example. We're going to enter whatever we started with in June, $2,000. We're going to enter that in January so that everything can auto-fill. Okay, the next step, profits and losses will be auto-calculated. Next, the target amounts are based on the percentage that you entered in cell F3, which was this blue one right here. That's where these blue numbers are coming from. $80 is 4% of 2,000. Next up, the trade numbers and the rate of return, or the ROR, will be auto-calculated. That's what this represents, how many trades you made that month, and the rate of return. Next, under the adjustments row, enter the difference between the calculated and the actual value of your portfolio. So that is here, and that is something that you're going to have to adjust every month, because despite my best efforts, I found that there's always a small difference between what Robinhood is actually showing me versus what I'm calculating manually. And so that could be some fees that I may have missed that I didn't see. It could be a trade that I forgot to log, but I'll have to make a separate video on how I reconcile those two numbers. But that's what this line is for. Okay, next, the cells and fees are auto-calculated and based on Robinhood's fee schedule. So that's what the cells are, and that's what the fees are. If you want more information about Robinhood's fee schedule, then you can, go to Robinhood.com and then you can search for their fee schedule. All right, at the end of the month, enter the interest earned or paid if you're using margin. So if you're using a margin account, or you make interest based on uninvested money, you can have a positive interest. Or if you had to pay interest because you're borrowing money, then you would enter that here. Again, the cells is used to generate the fees, and the fees, the interest, the adjustments, and the profits are all used to calculate the starting balance for the next month. So that's why those would need to be entered. And finally, enter the money deposited into your brokerage account each month. So if you're adding in, $500 a month or $100 a month or whatever it is, add that in down here, and that again will be added to the following month. And of course, adjust your target price. Okay, so let's look in the trade log. Now, this is where, so the dashboard is simply that, it's a dashboard. It's just allowing you to see an overview of your progress, the profits, in a nice graphical format with the corresponding numbers beneath. Now, for the trade log, this is where you're going to be, this is what you're going to be using most frequently. So this now shows all of the trades that you are making. So let's look at how this is set up. All right, first, each row shows the open and close positions of a trade. So these are the rows. So row 6, row 7, row 8. Okay, going left to right, it's going to show the open position and the closing position of a trade. So each row shows one trade. Okay, one complete trade, I should say. It doesn't show open position on one line and then a closed position on the next line. It shows it all in one line, open and close. Right now, you need to enter the action for the opening position, and there's a drop-down menu. And again, this is just for the wheel strategy. So there's a CSP, which is a cash secured put. There's a CC, covered call, buy if you're simply buying shares, and then assigned if you're assigned shares. And you can see that here. So under action, there's a drop-down menu, and you just select one of these. Okay, these inputs are going to be used elsewhere in the formulas down the line. All right, so let's say we are going to be looking at entering a trade. Okay, so for an options trade, to open this trade, you're going to enter the strike price, the expiration date, and the number of shares controlled by the contracts sold. So remember, each contract is 100 shares or controls 100 shares. So let's look at this first one, this first example, just a generic stock ABC. Let's say we entered this trade on June 21st and we sold a cash secured put. We sold it at the $15 strike price and we only sold one contract, which means it's 100 shares. That's how many shares that one contract controls. What is the expiration date? The expiration date is 6/25/21, and then we received 75 cents as our premium. All right, so this right here is what we would do at the open. Okay, so we enter the premium received per share, and this should be a positive value. The max profit will autofill, enter in any notes that you want. So this premium received, because this was a credit, it should be a positive value. And then you can see the max profit we could receive is $75. Remember, 75 cents per share. We have 100 shares because we have one contract which controls 100 shares. So 75 cents times 100 is that $75 max profit. And then you can enter in any notes you want. Now, if we want to close this trade, then we need to enter in the closing date and then the price that we paid to close per share. And because we're paying a price, this should be a negative value. And then we can view our profit and loss, the percent of max profit, and the rate of return. All right, so let's go back to this first trade. So everything highlighted here is what we used to open the trade. Okay, now when we want to close the trade, we're only going to be entering two things. And those two things are going to be here. We are going to enter the closing date, and then we are going to enter the amount that we paid or we bought to close. Again, per share. So -2 cents. We had to buy it back for $2. 2 cents per share, 100 shares. Right? So once we do that, our total profit and loss gets calculated, and it's going to be green if it's positive, it's going to be red if it's negative. The collateral shows us how much we had to put up in cash in order to open this trade. Remember, the collateral is 100 times the strike price. So $15 times 100 would be $1,500. Now we see the max profit that we could have received because we sold it for $75, but we exited early. We exited when it was at 2 cents. So we bought it back at 2 cents, and we see that we had 97.3% of our max profit, and that gave us a rate of return of 4.9% for that trade. Okay, you can see this next one is a cash secured put again, selling it on the 28th, $15 strike price, 100 shares, which is one contract. The expiration, you can see the premium that we received, and then this closed as well. We closed it in July, and we got out when it was at 5 cents. So that means we had an 80% max profit and we made $20. So you can see in June, we made $73, and in July, so far, we've made $20. Okay, so those are two options positions, opening and closing. Both of these are cash secured puts. A very similar thing would happen if it was a covered call. So let's look at what it would look like if you were to do a stock trade. Okay, so if you were to buy stocks, if we were to buy shares. So we're going to enter the share price, the number of shares purchased or assigned. If your cash secured put expired in the money, you're going to be assigned those 100 shares per contract. So you would also use this for the assigned portion. We're going to leave the expiration date empty because shares don't expire, only options do. Enter in any notes that you want. So in our example, this is what we did here. XYZ on July 6th, we bought 100 shares at $25 a piece. So that means we paid $2,500. Now to close the trade, enter the closing date, enter the sale price per share. So this should be a positive value because you're selling. And we enter that into the premium/capital gain/dividend column. Then we can now view our profit and loss and our rate of return. So we come back here. There's no expiration date because these are shares. Shares do not expire. Okay, we bought them at $25. We sold them for $26. and then the date that we closed it. So 26 minus 25 is $1 per share that we profited. We had 100 shares, so $1 times 100 shares should equal our total profit and loss, and you can see that we gained $100 in this particular example. That would be a 4% rate of return, $100 over $2,500, so 4% rate of return. Okay, so that's options and stock trades on how you enter those in the trade log. Let's look at these other notes that I have in here. The closed month column is for filtering purposes and should not be edited. That column is this grayed out column. So it's grayed out so that you know it's different, don't touch it. But it's also a little bit visible so that you can actually see the text in there. Okay, the top left section of the sheet shows the annual and the current month totals, and that's what this is up here. So if we are looking at the top, the total for the year is $193. We've made 3 trades. This is our average rate of return per trade, and this is our average percent max return that we have made. Okay, to view your trades based on a particular stock, we're going to use the stock slicer at the top of the sheet, and we're going to clear everything first, and then we are going to select the ticker symbol of choice. If we want to see all of the tickers, then we're going to select all. So how does that work? So these two things up here are called slicers, right? So let's say we only want to look at XYZ stock, okay? So we click on all, and we clear all the values, and we select XYZ, and we click OK. And it's only going to show our totals for XYZ, and you can see that this changes up here. This blue line changes because it's only going to be filtering XYZ. There's going to be an error because the percent max isn't calculated because it's not a cash secured put. All right, so to go back, we simply click on the slicer itself, select all of them, and click OK. And we have them all back here. Now, if we want to select by month, and this is what I use quite frequently, we use the month slicer. If we want to clear everything and just select one month, we follow the same directions, see all months, select all. And if we want to see just our open trades, we're going to just select the blanks. Okay, so how does that work? All right, so we go up here to our month slicer, click on all, clear everything, and let's say we just want to see how we did in June. So we click on June, click OK. All right, you can see that we made $73 in June. All right, and these are all the trades of June. There was just one. Now, does that match our dashboard? Well, let's look. So we look on our dashboard and we can see in the month of June, we made $73 and there was one trade. So that matches. Now, if we wanted to go over here and clear everything and just select July, we're going to see the same thing, except it's going to be for July. We made $120 in July with 2 trades. Right. If we want to see just our open trades, now this isn't going to work in this example because there's no open trades, but if you only wanted to see the trades that were currently open, the ones that you haven't closed yet, you click on blanks. And when you click on blanks, it's going to show you a list of everything that is currently open that you still need to close. Now in this template, there's nothing open, so it's not going to show anything. All right, so go back here, select all, and we can see everything. Now, just as a tip for when I use this trading log is I like to default to my open trades only. So I select blanks, click OK, and then I select this menu, these 3 dots here, and I set the current filter as my default. I'll click on that. So every time I open up this trade log, it defaults to just my open trades. So that's something you can do if you want. I prefer to have it that way because with the amount of trades over time, this list becomes very long, and I don't want to have to continually scroll to the bottom to find my current open positions. Again, this trade log is completely free, so you can customize it to how you want, but it really is only designed for trading the wheel because that's all that I was interested in trading. So that's how I set it up, but you can use it how you want to. The link is in the description if you want to download that for free. So if you have any questions about this trade log or about this topic of trading journals or selling options in general, just leave a comment down below and I'll answer it as quickly as possible. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about the wheel strategy and how I use it for lifestyle trading, click on the subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you can catch all the updates. Until next time, trade wisely and take care.